And we're going to start the recording. I call the meeting to order for the Clay Township Board of Trustees, Monday, April 20th, 2020. Roll call, please.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Cindy Valentine here. Artie Bryson.
Here.
Christy Hiltman.
Here.
Chris O'Regan.
Here.
Sandy Kufelt.
Here.
Okay, we're all present and accounted for. First thing on our agenda is our bills payable for $121,576.70. I will entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to pay our bills payable in the amount of $121,576.70.
I'll support that.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion or questions?
It was Sandy Kufelt and Joanne Shirkey, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Christy Hiltman.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Okay, was that a yes, Sandy?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't watching, I'm sorry. All right, moving right along, motion approved is our supervisors report. High water report, current status, it's the level of the river at Elginak's been hovering around, it's been maintaining actually since our last meeting at 577.7 inches above sea level. And as I reported to you before, I was trying to put in a permanent no wake rule that would be here all the time, but with level triggers. In other words, if it gets X amount high for, I was thinking a period of 5 days, it would trigger on. And because it, you know, how the water usually goes up and down. And then we would, there would also be a trigger to take the rule off when it got below another amount. And we tried to do that last year. The DNR said, no, that really can't be done. But when these bills, I was in Lansing and we were testifying with the Senate and the House, I was talking to the head of the DNR, and he didn't really think there was the reason why we couldn't do that. He was going to check into it. I had a few emails going through, but in the last 2.5, or actually probably 3.5 weeks, I have not received an email or phone calls from them. So I'm not sure what their status is. So that's kind of in limbo right now, unfortunately. We have been selling unfilled sandbags to our residents at a cost of $18 per 100. They have to make an appointment with our treasurer, Chrissy, for pickup. And she's been meeting them at the office for a pickup, and they pay at the same time. How's that been working out, Chrissy? Okay?
Yeah, it's working fine.
Okay, good. We did have a wind event about 2 weeks ago on a Monday. It wasn't as bad as they were predicting it, and it wasn't as bad as the one we had 2 weeks prior. But we were on guard and monitoring the situation. I think we did temporarily close Anchor Bay Drive, didn't we, Mike? That's okay.
Artie, it was open to traffic for residents on Anchor Bay Drive.
Right, yeah, for residents only. The road commission has put in a lot of the plugs and pumps on Anchor Bay Drive, or some are on Colony and some on Anchor Bay Drive, about Riverside and Marina Drive, a few others too. But that's really about it right now as far as the high water report. My COVID-19 report. As I typed this last Thursday, we had 21 cases, but now we are up to 27. I don't know if you can see that. Down Clay Township on the bottom, we have 27. And then you can see how Ira has 14. And
Now, these cases, excuse me, are these cases in the hospital?
no, they're confirmed
They've just been
cases.
diagnosed with it.
They're confirmed tested positive.
Okay.
But it kind of, to me, it looks like it's traveling down M29, because the municipalities further north definitely have less than we have. With the governor's EO 2042, people cannot travel between their homes. I mean, Michigan homes. They either got to hunker down at their cottage or at their primary residence, hopefully their primary residence. But I was inundated with, and so is the police station, and I believe up at the county too, with people questioning, well, why can't I come up to my cottage for 3 days to do this and do that? And you know, the executive order says life-sustaining travel only. She took out taking care of private property out of the equation. So my answer was, no, I can't give you the authority to do that, or the juice, or a letter, or a waiver, or anything they were asking. So I know there was a lot of frustrated people with that, and it was kind of frustrating for us too, but you know, it is what it is. So I've been actually working a little bit with the St. Clair County Health Department and emergency management, along with First Community Medical Services, about getting testing down here in Elginak. And actually, I just got off the phone about an hour and a half ago with the CEO of First Community, Mike Baranowski, and he's thinking that they will have testing available later on this week. Not sure exactly what day it will, but how it will work, it will be by appointment only. And, you know, they'll have to have a script from their doctor, and it will be done in the parking lot. So they'll come out in the parking lot and do the swab and all that and get all the information. And so that's huge. I believe getting us back to normal as a county, as a state, as a country, it really is going to depend on testing. And so I think it's very important that we have it available in Elginak area, downriver area. So that will be a win. As you all know, we have the Community Action Plan Committee. We have a meeting on that Wednesday. Hey, Jackie, if you want the information on that, I'll give that to you if you want to log in on that. But that's been going well, as far as I know. We've been monitoring that pretty closely. And things like the school lunch program is going smoothly. They did change it up. They're giving out the lunches Wednesdays instead of twice a week. Wednesdays from 11 to 12:30. And the donations have been great to the food pantry. And they've been keeping up very nicely with their increased demand too. I can't say enough about how people have really showed up and helping out really both everything that's going on with our community. We have volunteers that will deliver food from either place, the high school or the food pantry, to people that have logistics issue. They just can't make it there to pick it up, or they're high at risk and they don't want exposure. And also we have the program where our police will pick up medication at a pharmacy and deliver it to high at risk people. And as far as I know, that's been going very well. Haven't pointed at anybody with any needs that they need or were missing, or any, if they want to volunteer or help us out, call the non-emergency number at the Clay Township Dispatch, 810-794-4444. 9381. Or you can email it at police department, or I should say police department at claytownship.org. But that's all been going fairly good. And as you know, there's, this thing, things have been changing, not by the day, by the hour. And we've been definitely monitoring how and communicating with different people in the community to address any needs or try to anticipate new needs as they come up and address them as we can. As you know, the water department front offices, we're running pretty much bare bones. The water department's doing seasonal water turn-ons, no water turn-offs, and responding to emergencies. And we did have a few of them come in this week to read the meters so we can send get the bills out. As you all know too, we suspended all turn-offs and late fees on our water bills. And they were very, they were trained, and they respected social distancing and how they had to interact with any public if needed. Like I say, both chiefs can account. I mean, we get 1 to 3 emails a day on different things that change from either the governor's office or from the county, and so it's been challenging to keep up with all the updates and how everything's being handled. To help people out in the area, that it was done through Woodside Church, the Elginak Lions Club, and Community First. They did a food giveaway. I know Bill and Mike was part of that, and myself a little bit. And it was Saturday, and I'm not sure exactly how many boxes they gave out. It was quite a few, and you could tell by the people lined up. Is a definite need and a concern of our community. I'm in talks with them a little bit. We're checking on to doing another one 2 weeks from Saturday and 2 Saturdays from now. And actually, I would like to step it up a little bit and see if we can get more food, more boxes available. I talked to some other service clubs. They want to get involved with it and make that happen. I had a meeting today on the Flamingo Bridge, a pre-construction meeting that went well. All the utility services were in the meeting, county, MDOT, and of such, and how we're going to move the utilities and the ins and outs of the production on the project before we put it out for bid. So that's all, hey Cindy. All the funding is there through the federal and state grants and county grants and everything. So that's a really good thing. The cost to the township is still what we projected. It will be a little bit more than I thought of like 3 years ago when we started putting this together, because we actually have to rent an easement, and that's the township responsibility. Rent an easement for the temporary bridge. Actually it's going to be a barge that we're going to bring in there with ramps to so people can get across the canal during construction. And it will be in fact, we talked about it today, it'll be hefty enough to carry the garbage trucks and our fire trucks and everything on that. And this should have been actually under the high water report, but I received a text a day or two ago. Blue Water Materials operates our sand pit in Clay Township. They will be out of sand probably the end of this week. So that's going to be a big issue, especially during high water. And I know they're trying to get another area approved through the Planning Commission, and there's a hearing on that coming up in early May, I believe. I can't remember the date.
7:30.
May 7th? Okay. Actually, the ferry docks to the island looks like it's almost done, completed soon. All the grates on top of the dock. I haven't talked to my brother as to exactly when he expects it to be open for public, but I don't know. It should be pretty soon, hopefully this week. I went by there today and it looks good. All the grates on it, and I think he's got to run electrical to the screw jacks and a couple other things. Other than that, let's see, I'm starting the budget process, and we'll be diving into that here pretty big next few weeks going forward. So, any questions? I should mention too, all our rec programs that Cindy's Babbage worked hard to get organized. They're on hold till we know further what's going on with our state of affairs with a virus. So.
Yeah, I heard the Starville Bridge is not going to be put on hold. They're going to move forward with it. Is that?
Yes, that's going to. There was a rumor going around that was postponed. It was not. There was actually a drainage ditch that's going to be replaced further north across Starville. That's what was put on hold. I talked to Kurt Weston. They're gonna go forward with that probably starting the first or second week of May. Really depends on when the asphalt plants are open. He expects there's a week and a half of work to be done on it. So that will be done hopefully mid-May, because we need that open. Because that, if for some reason, God forbid, our dike road goes underwater with a windstorm or something, that is our way to get in and out of the township, toward that way. So that would let us breathe a little easier.
Agreed.
Okay, do we have any public comments? Any public comments?
Artie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Bill Graytop?
Hey, Bill.
Hey, I just want to say that your Zoom is working much better than the other format that you had. So if you're looking for some input from the public, I am the public, and this is much better. So way to go, guys. Keep it up.
Okay. Yeah, we tried the WebEx, and I mean, that worked. I did it because it's a little bit more secure, and but this is more user friendly, and we feel like we're on the Brady bunches. We can wave up and down and see each other. So. All right, any more public comments? Hearing none. Move right along to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the minutes. There are no minutes. Check reports, no notices, the communication from Parks and Rec that pretty much stipulates the majority of our programs are on hold, and there were no requests.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion?
Yes, Artie, I have something I'd like to, some comments I would like to, and concerns I have about the minutes that were none for the April 6th meeting.
Okay.
Now, do you want me to talk about them now, or do you want me to put it on?
Whatever your pleasure is. I mean, we can. You can get a hold of Cindy later.
Well, I will stipulate, just so you guys all know, I didn't have time to get to watching the recording because I was put on mute halfway through. I had problems connecting last meeting. So I just haven't had a chance to review the recording to finish the minutes. I was trying to get everything in our system so that we can start working on budgets. I kind of thought that was a priority.
Yep.
So I will get them done and sent out, and they'll be on the next agenda.
And thank you for that, Cindy, for getting the
Yes.
GL caught up.
So you
No
think
problem.
you'll have it there, Cindy, for our next board meeting, those minutes? Because
Oh, absolutely. I just wanted, before the week was out, I wanted to, overload Christie with a bunch of journal entries to review and make sure that Artie could start working on the budget.
because of the, the concerns of this COVID-19 issue, I think it would be important for us to approve those minutes for historical reasons, because somebody's ever looking to find out what the minutes were, and there's none, that, wouldn't look very good in our records. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
No, they'll be up. I just didn't get a chance to get to them last week.
Okay, any more discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I like that, Sandy. I'm sorry. Fire chief report, George.
Good evening, excuse me, good evening, everybody. Sorry about last board meeting. I had a little minor difficulty with my computer. We got that fixed up. Fire chief's report for the month of March. During the month of March, I attended very many meetings over this COVID-19. I attended the St. Clair Flats Homeowners Association by teleconference, and then the St. Clair County Chiefs Association. We discussed the COVID-19 first responders response and equipment that's available. Due to the COVID-19, it's been a very busy month, working some long hours, putting the action plan together for the fire department at Station 1, Station 2, and also purchasing equipment and disinfectant for both the fire department and the police department. I've been working with both the fire department and police department in providing them with protective equipment so they can do their job and protect our citizens of the township. A couple other things we've been doing the birthday drive-bys for the residents. So if anybody's interested that would like the fire department to drive by for their child's birthday, we're more than welcome to help. We did a salute to the hospitals up in Port Huron last Wednesday. I sent a truck up there to represent our township, and that was at McLaren and then Huron Medical. And
Awesome.
we've got one planned for River District Hospital this Wednesday at 7 o'clock, so we'll be doing that. Already touched on how many cases we have in the township. Was 27. We don't have any reported on the island, so that's a good thing, knock on wood. I need to report to you too that the potential exposure that we had in our fire department come back negative on the test results, so that's a good thing. And then I just need to stress to the residents to make sure that they wash their hands, stay home if they're sick, social distancing, disinfect all surfaces, and wear a mask when you go out.
Thank you, George. Hey, how are we doing with the PPEs for our guys in the police department?
Well, if Mike needs anything, I'm more than happy to give to him. I did buy some disinfectant. I've been sharing that with him. I got some hand sanitizer. I got some small gloves in, so I've been sharing them. And anything they need, they will get to make sure that their guys are protected as well as our guys are.
And we did get the aprons and the face shields.
Well, I did get some face shields. I did get some face shields from Ford's. And if he needs some, I'll give him some, but I think he also received some too. I did receive 30 pounds from the county, and I ended up giving the police department 10 of those, and then I dispersed the rest in the fire department. I think I got about 6 left, so I'm gonna try and purchase some more of those. But we did put a COVID kit together with the raincoats and full raincoats, pants, and coat. And then I bought some ponchos. So that's a pretty quick thing to put on. And you can decon it, and it doesn't cost us a lot of money. So.
Right. Okay, very good job. Any questions for Chief?
Good
Good
job.
job.
Thank you.
How's your guys holding up? Okay?
Yep, they're doing
Good.
fine.
All right, any other questions for Chief? Okay, hearing none, moving right along. New business, under the first thing for new business is preferred glass proposal, and this is to put up glass barrier for our 3 open counters that we deal with the public in the office. The glass it'll be special order where they drill for the the pass-throughs for money and documents and for the, for talking through. And I talked to them and they said that they would, as far as timing, it should be up, they should have it up within a week to, or shortly after a week installed. And because I really would like these installed before we open up the office to the public. I think our staff would very much like that. And it's, well, you see it all the time, but we were actually talking about doing this before this virus outbreak, and this just put it in front of the list of things to do. So
They're not ballistic panes, huh?
no, that would be a lot more money.
Well, you can get us, later on, you can put up I think it's a laminate you can put over the glass.
Right. But it's safety glass, and these guys, they know what they're doing. They've done a lot of it. So I'll entertain it.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the preferred glass proposal for the main township, the main entry counter, and the building counter, and the cashier's counter.
Yep.
In the amount of $6,500.
Support.
Okay, we got motion and support. Did you get that, Cindy?
Yep, I got it.
Okay. All right, any more discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Motion carries. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is a resolution that we got from, actually is recommended by the MTA. Isn't that right, Cindy?
Yes.
Okay. And basically, they suggest we approve this, and it basically gives supervisor, following consulting with the clerk and treasurer, freedom to either schedule, promote or cancel, postpone, or reschedule public hearings for various boards and plan commission, ZBA, and that sort of thing during this. I think we have it going through for April and May right now with this resolution. Does anybody have any questions or anything about it?
So we're going to be able to,
I'll make-
just the bottom line is, we're going to be able to conduct meetings such as we're doing now.
Yes.
Right. That's, I don't know about the ZBA. Have you done any webcasting yet?
We haven't had the need to yet.
Okay, do you want to put this on your... Yeah, I wrote it.
So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2020-02, the emergency, temporary emergency orders.
Support that.
All right, we have motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Christy Hilton,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yeah, I was muted, and I apologize for that. I wanted to discuss something before we
Okay.
vote on this. Can we back up for a minute?
Yeah.
Thank you. So can we get a definition on if practical or practicable? Understand this gives our supervisor a tremendous amount of power. There's consultation that is supposed to take place between the treasurer and the clerk, but the words "if practicable" exist on many of these lines, and I'd like to know what constitutes practicable.
Well, I guess he couldn't consult with both of us if one of us was in the hospital. But aside from that, Christy and I are in the office for the most part every day, at least part of the day, if not all the day, some days. So my understanding of practical would be if one of us was unreachable due to hospitalization, because we surely aren't going on vacation right now.
So I look at it, it's pretty much what we've been doing, because any one of you three can, as far as I'm concerned, can call a meeting off or postpone it or cancel it. I mean, you've done that in the past, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really give us too much more power than we already have. It just spells it out during this time.
Is this similar to the same resolution we passed last summer during high water?
Similar. That was dealing with, we have a high water emergency board. It consisted of John DeBoyer, fire chief, police chief, and myself. And we would meet and figure out what we needed to do if we had an emergency come up. This is just dealing with public meetings, that scheduling them, rescheduling them, canceling them, calling them. And I know Cindy did find this on MTA's recommending. I mean, the MTA came up with the wording.
Well, you've already done the office hours, right?
Yeah, and we declare a COVID emergency, I think 2 meetings ago. So I think this is just dotting our I's and crossing the T's.
And this is, I guess, the deadline for this to be.
May.
Yeah.
This particular one goes through May, and if we need to extend it, we'll have to extend it again. Oh, no, yeah, it automatically expires June 2nd.
Yeah.
June 2nd.
It's mainly operations and operations and meetings, basically.
Yep.
There's nothing that gives you enough power to give yourself a 500% raise but Chris and I, on the other hand,
Well, golf is not getting any cheaper.
Oh.
Thank you for the clarification.
All right, any more discussion? Let's recall the roll call vote.
All right, Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Christy Hilton,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Sandy Kufel,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, discussion on hazard pay. The MAFF union actually sent me a request to about hazard pay for the fire department. And thought, well, if we do for one, we got to do for all. Or we should, at least I think we should. And their request was a 3% increase for hazard pay. You know, going through the executive or emergency order from the governor. And I thought, well, this really needs to be a board decision. So I brought it to the board. I think, you know, Mike has different thoughts on it, maybe with the police. I'm not sure, but personally, I didn't think 3% was outlandish. But doing further investigation on it, I sent emails to Gary Peters' office, Debbie Savinow's office, and Paul Mitchell's office. I got replies from Paul Mitchell and Gary Peters. I asked them if any of the care packages, because I did hear that there's help for municipalities, local municipalities on different things in state and county. And I asked them if hazardous pay being refunded is one of those, and they said, no, not at this time. It's not in any of the packages or with FEMA. But they, actually, it was Paul Mitchell's answer. They both said, but it's something that is being talked about and could come up in the future. You know, if it does or not, I'm not sure. I would say, you know, it's nothing we could count on. So my question is, you know, bring up for discussion. I'm going to owe an answer to the fire MAFF union, and so I open up for discussion. So, hey, George, have you heard anything more on this?
I've been talking with one of the firefighters who works for one of the full-time fire departments in Garden City. And he's telling me that the IFF is looking into this heavily. They believe there's something going to come down the pike here within the next couple months. And they're looking at, they're looking into that to see more if there is going to be some sort of hazardous pay coming to the firefighters, or at least providing it to the municipalities to pay for hazardous duty pay.
Yeah, like I say, that's something I wouldn't, and you know, if we do this and it comes down, well, yay us, but I wouldn't anticipate it. So
there's also something, the state might be coming down with something also. I'm not sure if you checked into that.
yeah, you know, I did briefly. I haven't gotten back. I sent an email to Dan Lowers and Gary Eisen an hour ago. So. On the topic, so I haven't, I mean, I didn't give them a chance to really respond, so. I bet you the county would pay for it all.
In their request, did it give a effective date they were looking at?
Not a specific date, it's during the emergency order. I know the emergency order will probably last longer than the quote shutdown or anything. I mean, it would be probably quite a while before we get the all clear. And that's one thing I was thinking of. You know, maybe we could put a date on it and revisit it 3 months down the road, something like that. But if you do that too, you know, they might want more then. I don't know. So,
Marty, are we looking at retroing this?
I would, that's a good question. That wasn't asked. I wouldn't want to retro it more than 2 weeks, go back 2 weeks. I mean, I wouldn't retro it before, further back behind the request. The request came to me about 10 days ago.
Is there any consideration for part-time firefighters or policemen?
Well, they're all the firemen are part-time.
Yeah.
The only full-time one we have George, but it's basically a 3%. Some people are doing a flat fee, and that's really not based on the hours worked and the amount of hours that they're exposed to. You know, it's all over the board from what I've gathered what other communities throughout the state is doing.
So we're looking for a separate line item for a 3% increase based off of their wages for that pay period so that we can track it.
Yes, we'd have to do a separate line item on the payroll if we could.
And then
Sorry.
just, and we're proposing this, I just wanted to be clear, you're proposing this for all essential employees, not just the fire department?
Well, I think what we do for one, we would have to do for all. If we do it for the fire department, we're gonna have some angry policemen.
Well, I'm not by any means in disagreement. I just wanted to be clear on what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. I think our water department, you know, we got a few guys from the water department in working. Whoever's coming in working and is interacting with the public.
We'll have to
Has the county,
What's that?
has the county addressed this with the sheriff's office yet?
Not that I know of. Have you heard anything, Mike?
I know it's being, I heard some stuff about that, but I haven't heard anything officially at this point.
How about you, Bill?
There is nothing in the works at this time, Marty.
Right.
Nothing at all.
State had talked about potentially going forward with another stimulus package. And there were talks of this, which is probably what you were alluding to earlier.
Yes.
They called it a heroes fund.
Right, exactly.
But I would suspect that the doctors and nurses would probably get first crack at that.
Yep. And then first responders after.
And first responders after, but the numbers that are floating around are fairly significant, like $25,000.
Wow.
So it's what's coming down the pipe here in the next several weeks, month, could be a game changer.
Right.
What does our police chief feel about the 3%? Is it something personally that you'd like to see enacted, Mike? Do you think it would be good for morale? Are people asking you about it?
You know what, I'm not getting too much about it up until, you know, it was brought up. I mean, obviously, everybody is seeing what's going on throughout the state. And be honest with you, there's so many different scopes of what is being given at this point. I haven't seen anything as far as a percentage or anything like that. Everything's pretty much been a flat fee on any of them that I've seen thus far. You're seeing more and more of them as we go along. But yeah, I haven't seen anything as far as a percentage, anything like that. Just pretty much a flat either per pay or per month fee.
As the fire department is concerned, on a flat fee, that could be paid per run at that point in time. Right?
Well, that would be an administrative nightmare for Cindy, I think.
Not everybody does run, you know, I mean,
Right.
our workers are still going out, but we don't track them as runs if they're running the duty shift.
And if people walk up to the door and knock and.
And if they only do one duty shift in the whole time, that, you know, for the period.
Well, that's what they get paid for, and it'd be 3% from that, for that day.
Right.
And you're still asking them to come forward and be exposed to people that were out on runs and.
Right. And
Lot to think about.
well, particularly with the fire department, because all of our firemen are part-time and they're working at other agencies, Detroit or other cities, St. Clair Shores or wherever, and they could be exposed there and then come and work with us, you know, and our guy, I mean, there's lots of ways to where they could be exposed, not only dealing with our people, but, you know, I don't know, we're just learning so much about this. So you could go how many days without having symptoms, but carrying this thing.
Artie, real quick, I think the biggest thing on our end is it's not so much our guys.
Right.
You know, our guys, the way they look at it, it's not about them. I mean, they know, you know, doing their job that anything can happen. I think the biggest thing is bringing it home.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the thing that's got anybody uneasy is just that factor of not knowing, and God forbid you bring it home to your family.
Right. That's the thing. You go to work, okay, you expect, you know, to be in harm's way a little bit, you know, at work, but then when you to bring that home to your own family, that's where it really resonates, worries with these guys.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the 3%, in all honesty. I think it's kind of low.
Yeah.
But you know, we're going to be doing budget discussions, which I think that this should definitely be revisited if this goes into our next fiscal year.
It will.
So I think it should be part of our budget discussions. Whether we pass this or not tonight, I think it definitely needs some more consideration, but, I mean, I'll make a motion to pay the essential employees a 3% hazard pay, from the date of the request from mass through, the emergency order ending.
But this is just a discussion item on the agenda, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I mean, it's a valid motion.
Yeah.
What does that mean in terms of revisiting it, though? Does that make it the end of the discussion, or that's all they get? Or can we revisit it before the prior budget, the next budget year?
Hey, Cindy, why don't you edit it and we'll revisit it at our second meeting in May. Because it'll be a whole new world then.
So if it's
Well,
approved.
right, like I said, we don't know what's going to extend after April 30th. So yeah, I mean, I'll make the motion to currently retro it back to the date of the mass request, to be revisited the second meeting in May.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Mark?
No, she said it.
Okay.
She answered it.
I'm sure the union won't like that because they want, they say, well, what if May you reduce it or anything, so.
Well, you looked at my email, right, that I sent you back? I said it was 3%. That was an agreement with Cindy.
Yeah.
So, I don't have a problem with 3%.
No, I don't think,
I've seen it a lot higher, believe me.
yeah, I was, I did, I just want to tell her, I looked at all the budgets today and we are looking pretty good, if not at worst, we're on track to be on budget. And a lot of the departments are looking actually pretty good. So I'm not too much worried about any of our budgets this fiscal year getting whacked for this 3% or whatever we wanted to do.
Our funding is going to be down much less because there's no shopping, right?
Yep. I'm anticipating for the next year, our state sharing revenue will be cut in half.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can you refresh my memory what we typically get from the state in revenue sharing?
It's about 700, and it doesn't affect the police, fire, or any of the other budgets, just the general budget. And we typically get about $750,000, $800,000 on our.
I do have a chart on the website. It doesn't include this fiscal year, but it's prior to that.
Right. And you know, it's based on sales tax and that sort of thing. And the state, there's two types. There's constitutional, which that's solid. You know, the state has to give it to us. And then there's statutory, which I'm sure that will go away. I'm sure the state's going to take it away.
Is that the same thing that Port Huron received $462,000 in federal relief funds?
No.
Is that something we can be looking forward to as well?
You know, I'm not sure how that's working. And the trickle down effect of townships, it's, you know, I don't anticipate, you know, it's usually counties and cities get that kind of stuff before townships do. I'm sure when that's available, you know, we'll apply for it, but.
I participated in a webinar with Department of Treasury today, and they're estimating 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 people in the state have lost their jobs, and that there's a loss of revenue in excess of $3 billion a year for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So our next revenue sharing payment, scheduled to be mailed out the end of the month, will not be affected, but probably everyone after that will be.
Yeah, it'll start hitting us in July.
Well, St. Clair unemployment is up 1,000%. That's
right.
That's like
it's
everybody.
It's going to be lean going forward, but I think we're getting off topic. I mean, we're talking about the 3%, not revenue sharing and budgeting.
Does someone support your motion, Cindy?
I don't believe so.
Support.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion that we'll do 3% hazard pay to all the essential workers that's dealing with the public in the township. And we will revisit it in May, second meeting in May, to see if it needs to be tweaked. And
Right, yeah, in the meantime, in tweaking, we should identify essential workers, frontline supervisors out on the street, as well as the other people, as you mentioned before, that interface with the public.
Well, the essential workers, Mark, are the ones that are still working.
yep,
Okay.
If they're not essential, they're not working right now.
right. All right.
So our thoughts are, we were gonna make this retroactive from the date of the receipt of the letter from Gerald James.
Yes, yeah. It was about 10 days ago.
But, so we're gonna pick that arbitrarily, we're gonna pick a date, and that's where we're gonna start from, right?
Right.
Moving forward, are we gonna tie this to the governor's executive order?
That's what
We'll
they,
discuss.
that's what they requested, as long as the executive order is in place, the emergency order. And that's the part that we may want to tweak. I would think maybe if we wanted to bump it up a little bit for these guys, maybe we have to see how we're doing with the budget and the length. You know, this EO could go on for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's what worries me. I would say we wouldn't do it for the executive order, but we would do it until essentially there's no hazard in Clay Township.
But that's arbitrary, with all due respect. So
Right.
we have to have something tied in, I believe, to the governor's executive order. Even though it's going to be phased, we can all agree, I think, that it's going to be a phased back in.
Right. We could do till there's no active cases in Clay Township.
Well, I mean, we have it being revisited the second week in May. So
Yeah.
the second week in May, or the second meeting in May, I'm sorry, we can either end it, we can extend it, we can raise it, we can lower it, we can do whatever we want at that point.
That's what I'm thinking. We'll have more clarity what's going on in a month from now.
So is this going to be included as a supplement on the regular pay period?
Yes. It will be a separate line, COVID hazard pay, and she'll have a formula of 3%, and it will say, okay, you got $38 more this week, or whatever it is.
Okay. And our meeting second week of May?
The second meeting in May.
Second meeting in May.
18th?
I'd have to look at a calendar. That
The
sounds right.
18th, the 18th,
The
Artie.
18th would be May 18th.
Okay. How do
So
the pay periods currently run? Do they start on the 1st?
I have to submit payroll tomorrow for the last 2 weeks.
Support the motion.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Christy Hiltman,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey,
Yes,
Cindy Valentine, yes.
Okay, motion carries. I'll let MAF know tomorrow, and I'll shoot an email to the other union reps tomorrow also. Okay, that's all we have for new business. Board member comments. Cindy Valentine.
I don't have a whole lot. I just hope everybody is staying safe, staying inside where, they're not exposed. There are candidate filings. The deadline is 4 o'clock tomorrow, which is Tuesday, April 21st. If anybody wants to run for any of the public offices in Clay Township, they are all up for re-election.
Thank you. Mark Burchard, you got anything?
Planning Commission, I had a meeting on the 8th. We discussed the boathouses, the shipping containers, and the Field Road application for mining. We've moved the public hearing for the boathouses will be on the 7th, as well as the blue water material will be on the 7th as a public hearing, and further discussion on the shipping containers.
Okay,
Next
great.
meeting. Yep.
Sandy?
I don't have a whole lot, just hope everyone is still staying safe and staying home and watching out for our neighbors and our community, and our behavior today will definitely mark our success later on down the line. So I hope we're all being smart, and hopefully we can all gather soon and support our local nonprofits and businesses and restaurants and get back to being the great community we always were.
Yep. Chrissy?
I just want to remind everyone that I am doing Sandbag Appointments. I'm trying to keep them on Mondays at 1 o'clock and Thursdays at 1 o'clock. So if you need sandbags, you can either call the office or you can email me.
Okay, good. Chris?
One of my suppliers emailed me today, and they have an abundance of a product called BioResk disinfectant. What it is it kills 99.99% of viruses, swine flu, HIV, and human coronavirus within 1 minute. So I'm not sure the precautions that we're currently taking in the office, at the police department, and at the fire hall. But if you run into a situation where you need product, a disinfectant that will kill this virus within 1 minute is relatively inexpensive, let me know and I'll line you up.
What's it called?
BioEsque, BioEsque.
Doesn't remove paint, does it?
No, it's pretty harmless. We use it a lot in the water industry. It's an antimicrobial. It's to
Okay.
mold, mildew, growth, but it's relatively inexpensive and effective.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Joanne?
Well, I'll agree with stay home, stay safe, and for the most part with the ZBA. I think all our meetings will be on the back burner because it's not a really essential thing for us to hold at this point in time because of this COVID-19. So again, stay safe, stay home, and have a good rest of the month.
All right, sounds good. And I'll reiterate that. And it's just, I'm trying to do stuff every day out, to help people along through this. We have a lot of people that are hurting in our community financially. And there's quite a few sick people. We have 27 cases now. That's more than I thought we would get in the beginning of this process. We have more than any other township in the county, which I'm not proud of, but we, like I say, there's a lot of people hurting, and on the other hand, we have a lot of tremendous, gracious, generous people that are helping us out in the community too. I mean, it's incredible how people are just coming forward and everything. It's nice to see. And my new mantra, going through this, it's not time just to survive, but rather it's time to thrive. And I think we are, how this community is pulling together, we're definitely thriving. So I will end it at that. And
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Our next meeting will be May 4th. And hope all is well with everybody. Stay safe. If you ever need anything, give me a call. I'm I got my cell phone, actually my office phone is forwarded to my cell phone. And same with email, so.
Look forward to seeing you all next
All right.
time, same
Hey,
station.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh.
Hey, Rob, Joe.
See you tomorrow, Mike.